Hi folks, thanks for joining me. I'm Stephen Cronin. Thought I'd just crack straight on with the action today, just get on with it. And so this is going to be a little bit of raw sienna, a little bit of ultramarine, just trying to create a nice sort of atmospheric backdrop to this winter scene. Very simple sky. And then I'm just going to take just a little bit of raw sienna, just a touch of brown as well, just quite a limited palette this one, and I'm going to try and just suggest a few trees. It might be easier actually if I put the trunks in first with this number 3 rigger brush. If I just try and pop them in. It might be just a little bit darker. No, I think I'll get away with it possibly. Let's see how it goes anyway. Just giving up the hill here. There's a few more on this other side. Let's pop those in, and then I'm going to a little bit of foliage. You know, I want a lot of it to just soften up and just give a hint of something there in the background. Not too much detail. You've got that hill there, that's coming down to something like that. A few things just scattered about like that. Put that right up there. So just like background foliage. Just trying to soften it off. Paper's still a little bit wet, so it's just softening off. Just gives the hint of something in the background to help create the depth, because the stronger stuff will go in the foreground. Stronger tones and whatnot. So I'm just a little quick dab on the palette. See how they go on a little bit stronger. So I'm just going to pop a few little things in there as well. Make that a little bit darker. A little bit darker still, I think. What I might do, back to the rigger brush. There's a few things growing up there like that. Some of these will just soften off because the paper's still a little bit wet, and then I'll put the stronger stuff on once the paper's dried. So there's just a whole load of trees there. These ones, there'll be, like I say, there'll be stronger ones in front of this. A few little twigs and branches, just flicking around with a rigger brush. So a few little things growing down here as well. Right then, just pull this paper tight before I go any further. Oh, that one's fell off there. Fix that clip back on there. Let's fill out again. I think some of these clips, they get like paint on the inside and they don't clip properly. So I'll just fix that one down there. And just see, is there any more background trees I want to do? A few more. See, these going on a lot stronger now because that paper's starting to dry. Just something there, just a hint of something there, and then I'll just very, very lightly touch in because I want very fine strokes, because these are going to be in the background. Very, very fine. That'll do for that. Right then, what else can we do now? Let's just dipping the tips of the hairs into the water just to get a nice sharpish edge. This brush is getting pretty worn now, so but that's coming down something like that. Just defining the edges of this river that's down in the foreground. So we're giving something like that. Right then, let's clean the brush, and I'm going back into a bit of raw sienna, a little bit of burnt umber. This one's getting a little bit stronger now. Mix a bit of blue in there for a slightly darker bit. Just make that a little bit darker down there. A few shadows and things lurking amongst all that lot there. Right then, I'm going to stick some bigger trees in there. Before I do that, I want to just wet this water area. So the water is going to be a bit of raw sienna, a bit of ultramarine, and then what I'm going to do is just pop that water in and then pop a few reflections in at the same time. Now I don't want this drying too quick, so that's going to be the water, and then a bit of brown, bit of blue. Actually, before I do that, I'll just start off with the rigger brush ones first. And we've got some stronger ones here. And those reflections going in there, like that. Let's pop another one in next to him. And again, don't forget, pop those reflections. Because the water's still wet, it'll just soften off slightly. Have a bigger one over there. I'm pressing down a little bit stronger as well to get a broader stroke. Bring that down to there. Pop that reflection down at the same time. Strengthen that stroke. Right, and a few more down there. And we've got one that's coming out something like that. Put that reflection in as well, and it just makes the water look a lot more realistic. It breaks something like, you can hardly see that. I don't mess about too much. So have another one in there like that. Might just trying to soften the tone of that a bit. I'm just trying to match the tones. Made a slight, I might just get away with it, just possibly. Right then, let's now pop a few more up there. There's quite a few going up there. I'm just going to pop these in en masse. So they're just a few reflections down here, just about see them in this little bit there. There's going to be some stronger ones there. I might put those in with the hike here. I'll see how it goes. Actually, no, I'll use the rigger brush. The rigger seems to be working okay at the moment. These ones are quite lower down, so starting there, pressing down a little bit more, so quite a broad stroke. Just keep reloading the brush. Obviously no reflections on this. These ones are out on their own over on the right hand side. This one, now I'm pressing down pretty hard on this one. Couple of limbs on this. Right then, just want to strengthen the banks of this river now. So back to the hake brush. And it's just poking straight back up to this. So where I can see those far banks, I'm just going to strengthen them there. This is where a nice chisel edge comes in handy. Although this brush just can't quite get the Alan over on Patreon, funnily enough, asked me only yesterday, how do you know when you need a new brush? How often do I buy a new brush? And basically my way of telling is when I can't get that chisel edge anymore. That's when I know it's just too worn. And this one also, they do go down as well slightly, the actual length of the hairs as they get worn. You don't really notice it. You get that used to using the brushes, you don't really notice it. But if I have got an old brush somewhere. Well, quite a few. I'll have to one day I'll compare it to. I'll get a new brush. Yeah, there's an old one. So you can see the difference. Now that's a really old brush. That's when I used to cut them down and have them that long, so that would fit in the travel bag. But you can see even that. I mean, I reckon this one that I'm using now is worn, but look how worn that was. You got like at least another quarter of an inch to go before it gets as worn as that one. But so I might have a few paintings left in this one yet. But like the only trouble is I can't quite get these sharp edges. But I could always use the flat brush. I just prefer to use the hake. Might just pop just a tiny bit of foliage. There's not much. It's like the middle of winter, so there aren't many leaves on these trees. But might just put a hint of something up there. So I'll just scuff the brush up, just take a bit of raw sienna, just a bit of burnt umber, and just Just a hint of something up there. Just very, very light touch. Very, very light. Right then, just one or two things in the foreground there. Just going raw sienna, burnt umber, bit of ultramarine, and just again trying to restrain yourself because you don't want to paint over all that nice white snow. So I'm just putting just a hint of something in there, and then just hold back before you get completely over the top. Going to flick a few little reeds and things, a few little grasses there, little things over there. Let's pop so just at the base of these trees, just looks. So, just going to try and put just a hint of a little bit of shadow here and there. Not too much, don't want to get too mad. Just like a bit of brown, bit of red, bit of blue. I'm just going to darken that a little bit up there. A few little shadows just up there. Let's just brush something in from the side there. And these trees might just have something running from them. I think I'm going to stop there before I get too balmy. Give that a quick dry. Another figure just to the side of them. And just a hint of a reflection, just something there, just to give the impression. I think I'm going to call that one done, I think. So just all that's left now, just stick my name in the corner. I'm going to call that one finished, I think. Just stick it down there somewhere. Right, and let's stick a mount on that and see what it looks like. So here's our finished painting in all its glory, all mounted up. So we started off with the background, but a lot of it I think has gone too faint. I should have been a bit more strength in these distant trees and stuff. You can hardly see them. In fact, I can't remember exactly what I did now, but I know I would have wanted a bit more depth to that background. But I'm not so worried, it's at the end of the world. You can see a bit of variation in the strength of these trees, sort of light toned ones, and then coming right through to the foreground to the darkest toned one. Just try and create that sort of three-dimensional look. Again, you can see the contrast there, the strong foreground with the distant light toned ones, and then a few little shadows there amongst all the undergrowth and whatnot. Coming down the banks of the hillside there, covered in snow, with a few bits of grass and things just sticking its head out of the blanket white. Painted in the river then, and then just got a little bit of reflection in there just to suggest reflections from the trees, make the water look a bit more realistic. Same with these ones there. You can see I'll put them in as I go along so I don't forget to do them. It's amazing how often you'll forget to paint the reflections. Darken some of the banks as well, you can see, and then we've got some big foreground trees over on the right hand side. Probably look better without these foreground shadows actually. I'll bear that in mind for the next time. And then it's got a little couple of figures there over on the far side of the water. Just a little hint of a reflection in there as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. I hope you was painting along with me. If you was, remember, if you want to join me over on Patreon, you can always post your own paintings there on the community page, and we can all give one another feedback and see what we're all up to. You'll see the links in the description. All the books are over on Amazon if you want to take a look at those. So, as always, thanks for watching. Keep practicing. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And I'll see you again soon.